Stephen O'Connell, the founder of the Football Co-operative, now going 7 years, begins here by explaining how it came about when he moved to Dublin in 2017.
Progression that way and moving to Dublin was a good idea to do that, I felt. Well, I quickly realised when I moved to Dublin with my other half, Nuala, was that our friend network in Dublin was quite small, and for any of the one people we did knew, it wasn't quite 15 minutes away from each other like we would be in maybe Limerick, where I'm from. So I guess what happened generally was a new job. We were expecting a new child as well at the same time. So there was a couple of pressures. I'm mid-30s and I guess I'm trying to get active in some ways. I'm trying to chase the footpath as it says. But that's not what I traditionally would have got exercise through in growing up. I came from a community that would be very much involved in team sport and getting every child and young person through team sports, whatever it might be. So obviously the footpath has become an alien subject matter to me, and despite investing in the technology of a watch and the step trackers, whatever way the weather was, the day, the traffic, the dart home to Malahide, or perhaps something might be on the television. The Game of Thrones series was breaking around that time in 2017, and you could easily be convinced that that's more exciting or a better reward for tonight. What really came about was one evening I was on a jog. It wasn't of any great pace because clearly physical activity was part and parcel, inactivity was part and parcel of my life at that point. And I passed this beautiful AstroTurf pitch in Malahide, unattended to, gates locked, lights off. And I just couldn't fathom in such an urban population centre that pitch isn't getting some form of a team or people active. And when I reached out to them about, was there any groups playing recreational football, you're kind of met with, they've let us down, they have really difficult time struggling to get either the numbers or get either, reliability into their games. And that's where I guess I said I can help solve that problem. And I guess for me it became a simple idea to obviously just put out a message online and go, does anyone want to play a game of football? And I guess what I was met with was quite a resounding yes. You had people just from one social media platform, waves of people saying I've been waiting for this for years, waves of men wanting to get active. And effectively, for me, I was like, that's brilliant. I can get you to the pitch and tell you where the pitch is, and I can bring a ball and we go for it. But I guess for me, what you start to see looking back in some of the messages of men joining was, they were crying out for something that wasn't a footpath or wasn't an expensive gym membership or whatnot. And they were willing to bring a friend or their son or their father, and often it was their wife or other significant other that said, hey, this fella on the couch alongside me, or this fella that hasn't got up, he's interested, he likes it or not. And there's definitely been a journey about probably how people have found out about Football Co-operative, but how people are referred to it. And I guess that's where kind of all stakeholders can support us in the future, is in the recruitment of participants. So I guess what came about was rolling out a simple game of football has turned into Football Co-operative. It places recreational football as a hook to bring men together to increase their physical activity to improve overall health. And for me, it's very much important to say that it's an early intervention to help promote intervention, and it's through a gendered lens. I guess Michael put it right, before people end up having to be medicated, having to cost themselves, insurance companies, the state money to medicate them effectively, we can do something to get them active and preempt any difficulties. And the quality of living in later life is also something I point to as well. It's sometimes very good to keep people alive, but whether they have a quality of living is something that everyone each holds to themselves, especially in middle age. So what Football Co-operative does, and does very well I might add, is we bring men together to enjoy the beautiful game and form new friendships and improve their health. And we do that by organising weekly games of recreation football year round. So what we do specifically is we will identify a site, the AstroTurf pitch I spoke of, and we will form a relationship with the pitch owner, and we will book that for 51 weeks of the year. And we'll book the full pitch as well, because there's enough men interested in recreational football that we don't have to leave any of them home on their couches or working late in offices or building sites or whatnot. So once we have the pitch secured and we have that kind of agreement in place, we go about recruiting participants, and I guess there's many a journey on that path, as I showed you, and there's many different ways people come, but one of the strongest ways of recruiting participants has been another man referring friend, brother-in-law, a work colleague, and that is something that would carry about 55% of our new participants would come from a referral, because if someone is getting a benefit from it, they will tell someone else. And if men are like men that I know, they will pretty much be the first thing they'll say the next day at work or the next day they're meeting a new person or a new friend. We're very good at coordinating people around it, and that's very key to what we do as well. We're very passionate about the game experience being rich for all participants. So to do that right, we have to coordinate very well, and we provide the bibs, footballs and other equipment that might be needed on the night. So effectively our model is making it easier for men to get active through regular social recreational football with members of their community. Now there's a couple of non-negotiables in Football Co-operative, I guess. So I guess it's flexible in format. Like if you kind of looked at some of their messages with very much a microscope, you would see that men need flexibility, especially middle-aged and older-aged men. They cannot put their game of recreational football ahead of child or work or other halves or other commitments and other care commitments they have with their own parents. So I guess flexibility is something it is, and that's what a Football Co-operative is. It's pick up football, play as it suits when it suits you. It's flexible in format, so we would book the full pitch and play multiple games across it. So effectively we can open up 40 spaces of a game night in Malahide, and the site in Limerick we can open up to 80 spaces. So no one that wants to play football is left at home on their couch truly. They really is in their hands to get active with a game of football. It's affordable as well. We must charge game fee to get active because we need to pay for the pitch rental, we need to have our public liability insurance, we have to provide reoccurring equipment, the bibs need to be washed, and there's other costs actually with everything anyway. So for me, we do charge game fee, but the key is we keep it affordable. We do not want to put financial barriers in front of people. In fact, where they do present, we have often waived or given people a break for a period of time so that they don't, especially when it's most apparent they need physical activity or need solidarity through a group of men, that they aren't actually left at home. So for me, that's a key function that we wouldn't negotiate on. And inclusive as well. I guess it's clear to me that the game of football can bring people from all walks of life together, and we see that within our participant population. But I guess people may be at different biological ages, people might be at different fitness levels and football abilities, and I guess we've learned to kind of nurture that information when people register to effectively make the teams balanced of a game night so that all abilities, fitness levels and football capacities are catered for. The Football Co-operative incorporates the network of sites together. So it just kind of doing things together and doing exercise together is better, and that's what the cooperative does. It brings the site in Malahide and Limerick together, and the vision is that many more sites will follow suit. Men break things, I think it's very clear to me. I often get the IKEA thing sent down and I put that together and I've broken it, but there's many other things I broke as well. But generally men will challenge the nature of something, they will look to find out its weaknesses and maybe the vulnerabilities. That's part and parcel of sport as well, and to be honest, for me, that's the beauty of it as well, because people are venting, people are letting off a bit of steam, people are using physical exercise as a modem to manage stress or other challenges they're having in their life, and that's no hard problem for me to solve, to be honest. So I guess to get this right, we have a sophisticated game cycle within Football Co-operative. We have 7 years of expertise of learning how it works. So no guessing, my career is in HR, and an employee life cycle is something I learned quite quickly as an important aspect of bringing anyone new into an organisation, so that as they go on the journey, through your organisation, behaviours, expectations and stuff can be managed. So that's no different to what the game cycle of Football Co-operative is. We recruit people, we register them, we get key information, self-determination of their football ability, health, nationalities, what is their motivations, what are their barriers. So we find out that at registration pieces. We give them an induction so that they're fully aware that this is to get active, to get everyone as best as possible active, to improve physical health, but to make friends, to find a belonging in the community they're in. So there's no one ever going to a pitch trying to, where's the gold medal at the end of the game or whatnot. They're very well managed that way. And then you enter the real bubble of the game cycle. So it comes from a game creation through to game notifications that are pushed out to participants all the way through the team selections, and like everything there's going to be last minute changes. So just some snapshots, you will see guys, they're just new to Ireland, they don't have bank accounts, they don't have, so how can they play? We facilitate that. You get guys that are caught late in work, and I've seen all excuses from a punctured bike at 3 o'clock in the day when the game isn't until 9 o'clock at night. I'm kind of questioning guys here, but I think the key thing is, you mustn't sweat the small stuff on everything here. I think, men, if they want to get active, will get active, and we will get enough people to the pitch to make this model work and make people get active. And I guess the key thing to get it working is the volunteer engine behind the scenes to make, obviously, everything work. And this started, I guess, as a participant firstly, but soon after we started the first night of football on a Monday, guys are saying, could we look at a second night a week, because I work in the airport, shift work, or I'm actually away with work, or I can't make Mondays. So quickly then it became natural concept to let's do a second night a week. But that would have put enough pressure on me to be there 51 times a year, twice a week, I guess. So we evolved a team coordinator and game coordinator roles so that they would obviously add more sustainability to the model, but also make sure that obviously there was more people around it that wanted to step up and make sure it was sustainable and successful. Now that we have multiple sites, we have a site coordinator role, so someone that would help coordinate the sites and make sure effectively both sites are singing from the same hymn sheet. The non-negotiables are still being followed. And then there's the core team, a group of us that are helping to drive the strategic vision, which is culminated in the academic research. I guess the key message for me is this works, and while we're going to hear a lot of information from Dr. Paula Carroll shortly, the numbers for me that count are the actual participation and the registration. So I guess if we just first go to the games, because we're organising multiple games across the pitch, we can double up amount of games. So last year, so this is January to December last year, we organised 349 games, which activated, unique participation was 6,382 times we got a man active. But the key and the jewel of it for me is there's 600 people registered to the two sites, Football Co-operative, across 70 nationalities and the 9 ethnic backgrounds we find in our CSO. So it is a universal game, and ultimately we can harness it to achieve a vision that is replicating the model across Ireland through a network of sites can deliver the positive health impacts for all stakeholders, not just ourselves as an organisation. And to do that, we have a vision to scale in many different directions. Scaling up is the key, I think, firstly. Scaling to many urban and rural centres that have, people interested in getting active, interested in a game of football. And we're not looking for everyone in that community. There's many hundreds of thousands across Ireland with a population of 5,000 or more, or 10,000 more. If we're only looking for 2 or 3% of that population to come join us for a game of football, we can hit tens of thousands of men across Ireland. I guess scaling outward is the other key one I would point out today. That's where I guess we can, through the Football Co-operative, target men that are either socially, culturally, economically or educationally disadvantaged and attract them into our games. Normally, these men are kind of from high areas of deprivation, or their self-determination of health is quite low. So we can use our vehicle of recreational football to get them active, form new and better and improved friendships in their lives, and we can deliver the outcomes that we see already in our community today. I guess the closing statement for me is that football is a beautiful game, but this is where I find it is the most beautiful, and it is an open goal for promoting positive mental health outcomes, and I think everyone in the room can help support it, whether that's recruiting participants or helping to socially prescribe them, whether that's to support our strategic vision, or whether that's just to really champion the work we're doing so that other men and other groups and social enterprises around Ireland can see the light that, you know, the future is social and the future is recreational football for us. Thank you so much.